Welcome to this explainer on Cambridge AS and A-level accounting. I am your master coach, and today we're stepping into a high-stakes masterclass on exactly how to stop bleeding easy marks when tested on the purpose and limitations of a trial balance. We know this specific topic is a massive stumbling block in the 9706 syllabus. It looks easy on the surface, but the moment you enter the exam hall, the pressure spikes, the clock is ticking, and suddenly, top-tier students are dropping entire grade bands. Well, not today. By the end of this intensive 15 to 20-minute session, you're going to have a crystal clear, highly strategic roadmap for dissecting complex questions, mastering your time allocation, and deploying critical thinking strategies that examiners practically beg to see. Let's get right into it. Okay, look at this quote straight from the principal examiner reports. This is the absolute biggest pitfall for candidates. The classic mistake is providing generic answers. Listen, when you're staring down a high-tariff question, we're talking 9 to 15 marks here. The temptation is to just brain dump every memorized fact you have about a trial balance. But let's look at the anatomy of the command words you're actually given. There is a massive, fundamental difference between analyze and evaluate, or explain versus to what extent. If the prompt asks you to evaluate and you just explain what a trial balance is, you have already capped your score at a low band. The examiners aren't just checking your memory. They are testing your content knowledge against the hidden constraints of the prompt. You have to lock your knowledge directly onto the specific business scenario they've handed you. To ensure you don't fall into that trap, we're going to move rapidly through 4 key areas today. First, the examiner's warning. Second, 3 core principles. Third, the technical methodology. And finally, evaluation and critical analysis. Let's kick things off immediately with Section 1, the examiner's warning. To really understand these top 3 warnings, I want to bring this to life. Imagine we have 2 archetypal scholars working in a digital study suite right now. Let's call them Alex and Sam. Alex is highly technical, an absolute machine with formulas and facts, but struggles with open-ended evaluation. Sam is our creative thinker, brilliant at building arguments, but falls apart when it comes to structural precision and timing. So Alex and Sam are looking at a 12-mark past paper question about a trial balance failure. Alex immediately starts listing off errors: omission, commission, principle. But look at our first warning, confusing cause and effect. Alex is listing the types of errors, but the question is asking for the impact of those errors on the ledger. Sam jumps in and says, wait, we need to talk about the context. This is a manufacturing business that just bought new machinery. Sam is right. As warning number 3 tells us, contextless generic answers are a trap. But then Sam starts writing a massive unstructured paragraph, completely ignoring warning number 2, forgetting format and presentation checks. This is a formal accounting document. Presentation matters absolutely. By watching Alex and Sam debate, you can see how easy it is to fall into these specific examiners' traps if you aren't perfectly balanced. Moving right along to Section 2, 3 core principles, let's explore exactly how your responses are assessed behind the scenes. This table right here is the Holy Grail. It breaks down the 3 distinct cognitive domains or assessment objectives that dictate your grade. At the base, we have knowledge and understanding. This is AO1, foundational facts. This is Alex's comfort zone, knowing that a trial balance checks arithmetical accuracy. But you cannot stop there. Next up the ladder is analysis, or AO2. This is interpreting relationships. If you see a suspense account, why doesn't the trial balance balance? What specific error caused this discrepancy? Finally, at the peak, we have evaluation, AO3, making justified recommendations. This is where Sam usually shines, but it requires precision. Back in our digital suite, Alex and Sam are debating how to unlock these top-tier bands. Alex wants to write 6 bullet points of pure facts. Sam says, no, we have to evaluate. The reality? You have to move fluidly through all 3. You state the fact, you analyze its specific impact on the numbers provided, and you evaluate the ultimate consequence for the business. You must demonstrate competence across every single level to secure the marks. So the absolute crucial takeaway here is that the assessment framework prioritizes analytical depth over superficial breadth. Listen to me on this. Writing 10 disconnected bullet points of surface-level theory will always score lower than writing 3 deeply analyzed, perfectly contextualized paragraphs. Examiners are explicitly looking for deep, logical, evidence-based reasoning. They want the why and the how, not just a scattergun approach of what. Let's transition to Section 3, the technical methodology, and see how you can systemize this approach. Okay, before we watch Alex and Sam tackle the absolute hardest part of this methodology, I need to pause our session for a quick critical reminder. If you want to consistently unlock top grades and never miss out on weekly Cambridge breakthrough strategies just like this one, Take a half second right now to subscribe to the channel Ace the Exam's IGCSE O and A levels. That's at acetheexam_IGCSE. And make sure you enable all notifications. Hit that bell. We drop these elite masterclasses regularly, and you do not want to go into your exam without them. All right, let's get back to your secret weapon, the method mark strategy. This is a grading system where you get marks for displaying systematic analytical processes and clear working notation even if you mess up the final conclusion. In Accounting 9706, your process is just as vital as your final answer. If you drop a 0 early on, but your methodology is structurally flawless and clearly documented, you will salvage a massive percentage of the points. Examiners reward the logical journey. Now let's look at the 6 standardized procedural steps to actually execute this. 1. Deconstruct the question. 2. Extract data from the stimulus. 3. Select your analytical framework. 4. Execute with clear notation. 5. Verify results. 6. Present with correct terminology. Right now, in our digital study suite, Alex and Sam are actively drafting a model response paragraph by paragraph on screen, but they've just hit a massive roadblock. Alex is panicking about timing, and Sam cannot figure out how to link the analysis to the evaluation. Let's use our picture-in-picture feature here. I'm pausing their session, and I'm stepping in. I tell them, stop looking at the whole mountain. Go back to step 3, select the analytical framework. They are trying to evaluate before they've even executed the notation in step 4. So we rewrite the flawed section together out loud. We clearly state the error of original entry, we show the exact T account adjustment as our notation, and then we present the terminology. Suddenly, we transition from a chaotic, mediocre answer to a flawless, full-mark response. Systematic process equals guaranteed marks. Welcome to the interactive visual workshop phase of our masterclass. I want you to lean in because your data interpretation demands razor-sharp focus. You have to extract, interpret specific relationships, and draw evidence-based conclusions. For scene 1 of this workshop, imagine a complex data table right here on our digital smartboard. It shows a suspense account balance alongside a completely unrecorded discount allowed. I'm putting a 60-second visual countdown timer on the clock. Go. All right, time's up. If you just copied the suspense account number down, you failed the objective. Active interpretation means you must explicitly define the relationship. You have to ask yourself, what specific directional impact does this unrecorded discount have on the final profit figure? You aren't just reciting data, you are weaponizing it to build an evidence-based conclusion. To make absolutely sure you execute those 6 steps perfectly under immense exam pressure, I highly recommend creating a memory hack. Use a mnemonic with the first letters. Deconstruct, extract, select, execute, verify, present. DESEVP. Maybe something like, does every scholar expect very perfect presentations? Make it weird, make it funny, whatever locks it into your brain. Having this rigid, reliable procedural sequence means that when the panic tries to set in, your training takes over automatically. Finally, let's conquer the highest scoring domain of the entire exam. Section 4, Evaluation and Critical Analysis. To unlock top-tier AO3 evaluation marks, you must critically assess evidence quality by actively identifying limitations, assumptions, and alternative interpretations. Let's do scene 2 of our workshop, Spot the Flaw. I'm throwing a poorly written student answer on the board. It says, the trial balance is very useful because it shows all the balances and proves the math is right, so the business is doing well. I want you to find the 3 massive errors here. First flaw, it completely ignores the limitations. A trial balance will not detect compensating errors or errors of omission. Second flaw, it relies on a dangerous underlying assumption that mathematical accuracy equals business health. Third flaw, it fails to discuss the effect on the final conclusions. To fix this, you must explicitly state that while it provides a foundational arithmetic check, its inability to detect errors of principles severely limits its usefulness as a definitive measure of financial accuracy. And that brings us to the comparative analysis framework. It is absolutely vital that you identify similarities versus differences using proper comparative connectives. When you evaluate alternatives, you cannot just write 2 separate paragraphs that never interact. You have to force them to collide. Use connectives like whereas, conversely, or similarly. For example, an error of omission entirely removes a transaction, whereas an error of commission misplaces it within the correct class of accounts. Consequently, both maintain trial balance equilibrium but distort different aspects of the financial reporting. You see what I did there? I used connectives to build a weighted, heavily structured argument. That is what examiners reward. Listen to me carefully. If you remember absolutely nothing else from this entire explainer, burn this examiner alert into your mind. Always link every single analytical point directly to the specific scenario provided. This is the ultimate gatekeeper to an A star. If you write a technically flawless, beautiful essay on the limitations of a trial balance, but you fail to mention the exact business name, the specific machinery figures, or the unique stakeholders in the prompt, you will hemorrhage marks. Context is king. Do not write a textbook answer, write a solution for this specific business. So knowing exactly what the examiners are looking for, how will you deploy this strategy in your next past paper? Let's recap what our scholars Alex and Sam learned today. We synthesized this entire masterclass into 3 core, memorable pillars you must take with you. Pillar 1, the 3-step question scan. Never start writing until you've dissected the command word, the content, and the context. Pillar 2, the paragraph balance formula. Always blend AO1 facts, AO2 analysis, and AO3 evaluation in every major point. And Pillar 3, the last 5 minutes review checklist. Always save time to verify your formatting, presentation, and context links. Crushing Cambridge exams doesn't happen by accident. It requires ruthless, consistent strategy. If you are serious about achieving your absolute maximum potential, you need to hit that subscribe button for AC Exams, IGCSE and A levels at aceexam_IGCSE right now. Turn on that notification bell so you never miss our future exam hacks, and before you click away, leave a comment down below with your exact target grade. Put it out there, commit to the strategy, and I will see you in the next masterclass.